How have you enjoyed the campaign with Wales and the Ospreys?
What, up to now?
Yeah.
It's been, obviously it's probably been poles apart really in many ways. It's been difficult and frustrating at times, particularly with the Ospreys. For a large part of the season, we've had a couple of good games of late, and playing in the way we want to play and play we know we can play, and have shown in the past. And it's probably some of the form that we had in some of the performances in the Champions Cup has come to the fore probably in these late games. With regards to Wales, I think it was a pleasing Six Nations, not the complete package by any means. There were opportunities that were missed, and one of the things we said going into that campaign was we would need to create opportunities first and then take them. And I think that a couple of opportunities we didn't take probably were costly with regards to the championship as a whole. Credit to Ireland. I think they went with the form book and the momentum they had from the start of the tournament. Sort of fulfilled that prophecy that was made before the Six Nations. But again, bringing it back to Wales to see people get an opportunity, confidence to get more strength in depth. What is soon to be a World Cup prep. We're 18 months out, or just under, just over. I'm not sure off the top of my head. I probably could be if I thought about the answer more. But yeah, you know what I mean. It's going to be that slope or up or slope down to a World Cup, and have the strength and depth that I'd like to think that's developing is very important. There's going to be a summer tour with probably people getting more opportunities, and then the two final opportunities before the selection for that World Cup is the autumn and the Six Nations in the 19. So it's like I say, pleasing but not the complete package from any way, shape or form. It would have been interesting again. Thinking back to that Ireland-France game, had Ireland not succumbed to that drop goal and the 41 pens, what would have been. But I think the competition as a whole was good, and like I say, it was pleasing from a Welsh point of view, although there's definitely room for improvement, and I think that more so than in the past, that improvement really will make a difference moving forward.
How important is now for the region to qualify for the Champions Cup? We went to the Challenge Cup, we went unbeaten, had maximum points, and then we went to a quarter-final and lost. I think to go back into that Challenge Cup isn't something we want to do. I think the target for us is obviously Champions Cup rugby. That we can still do it. We've got a game in hand over a couple of teams, a few teams, and that the points margin is that so that we can do it. It's going to go down to potentially go down to Judgment Day, and we still could have a playoff. But yeah, it's massive for us to still be in the top echelon of domestic rugby. How are you viewing the future for the Ospreys? You've got internationals leaving in the summer, but some arriving as well.
Yeah, I think it's not really down to how I'm viewing it. I have feedback, and I'm happy to give that feedback, but it's down to the people that actually pull the strings. There's a lot of people in this organisation with a lot more pull than me that can make more effective decisions on where we were going to go. We lost 4 or 5 Lions a few years ago, and we've probably punched above our weight, and that's not saying that we're underfunded or saying anything like that. We've probably punched above our weight with the people we've recruited and the people we've had. But like I say, there's people more equipped, more qualified in this organisation to make the decisions to rebuild or build again and go into the future.
What persuaded you to sign an NEC fractional?
I don't know. I think initially, well, I do know. Initially, it wasn't persuasion, and I look back. I look back at other times where I've had the decisions to make contractual decisions, whether it be for endorsement stuff or playing stuff, but more so the playing side of things. I've been fortunate in the fact that they haven't always been rugby decisions, because I've been doing well playing for Wales, playing for the Ospreys, and doing well on a personal level. I think to the point in my career where it's definitely it's not just a rugby decision, and I'm comfortable saying that it's a life decision. There's obviously things that I want to achieve,
and things that I can achieve if form fitness permits me to be able to be selected for Wales, then is a right fit for the near future.
How important is loyalty to you?
I don't know. I think it's funny. You pick up on stuff on social media. I think you can't be on social media and not pick it up. I think I'm comfortable in the fact that say, well, it's a job and I get paid to do it. But there's an element I'd like to think I've earned the opportunity to have an NDC or be rewarded or be awarded the offer of another contract. So I think it's a two-way street if you want to talk about loyalty and that sort of thing. I'm not going to be too profound about it, but yeah, it's not entirely about that. It's a bit deeper than that for me. It's not just about me and the club, but if we were talking 4, 5, 6 years ago, I didn't have a wife, didn't have a kid, didn't have another one on the way. So like I say, it's a lot bigger picture for me than just the rugby and me and the Ospreys at the minute.
As a player, what goals have you got left? I mean, you're 32.
Years young. No, it's the obvious ones that I haven't done. It's take anything that I have done, and then what's left, you want to achieve all of that. So little things. I'd love to feature for the Barbarians. Love to win a Champions Cup. Got to get back in there first, and obviously get to another World Cup and make a first of that. Get at least to another World Cup final and see what could have been, particularly after 2011. So I probably being greedy and asking for a bit too much, but it served me well over the last few years.
The Barbarians is an interesting one.
Say again?
The Barbarians is an interesting one.
Yeah,
You're talking 12, 13 years into your career.
Yeah, well, still haven't, but I think I'm not, again, it's not about greed, or I think it's just I've been fortunate enough to play the Lions, but I think it's the ultimate invitational team, isn't it? I don't know when that opportunity will come. There's been murmurings in the past, but obviously it's a little bit difficult now, what with quota numbers essentially on the number of games you play, and being rested on summer tours, particularly this year. So it'll probably be a hard one to fit in, but it'll definitely be something in and around ambition, because I see the great guys that have gone through those jerseys. It'll be something you'd definitely like to do.
In terms of the NDC system, obviously there's a lot of chat that the Irish players are on central contracts and they can get rested. Obviously some of the media making a lot of fuss about how much the English players are playing. How's the NDC work for you? Have you found that it sort of helped you rest up when you've been a bit worse away?
I think it would be hard for me to say that it's served me well this year, but it's not because of the NDC hasn't worked. It's because we've been under pressure with the Ospreys, and that's we're not going to hide away from that, and it's no one's fault. And years gone by, I've been my own worst enemy in the fact that I've been given time off or said I could have played when I probably should have put my foot down and not. And as a player, that's all you want to do. So I don't regret any of that sort of stuff. But moving forward, I know where I am and I know where I need to be. So I think moving forward, it's going to probably be even more value to myself, particularly as I'm 32 years young, as Mark kindly reminded everyone. But yeah, I think that value will only increase, and I think if you're a player and you're 25, 26, the value will only increase more fold to them because they get it younger in their career. So, and I think in credit to the WRU and the Ospreys, I think obviously the relationships there have got stronger and have been more efficient, and that directly, indirectly helps the players to perform, and that's what ultimately we want.
Obviously, at the moment, the Ospreys are searching for a new coach. Does that sort of uncertainty affect the squad, or is it just something that you just put to the back of your mind?
I think potentially initially did, because of the timing of everything, what with internationals going the way to Six Nations, and just the timing. But it is what it is. That decision was made. It was out of the hands of the players. So you've got to deal with that. But it's a positive and a negative in the fact of the games come thick and fast, and when you play, yes, you get messages from up in the stands, whatever, but ultimately it's down to the guys on the pitch and the bench to make decisions for the 80 minutes each week. Yes, there is a working week that can become dishevelled, obviously, because of certain reorganisations and organisations that happen. But credit to Alan Clark being interim and
the rest of the coaching staff, we've all had to knuckle down and move forward. And like I say, a few positive performances have been what we needed, you know, from a time of pretty much uncertainty, like you said.
When you were in negotiations with the Ospreys of a new contract, were you given assurances that, you know, the squad would be strengthened, that there would be a top coach coming in, and that you're heading back to the top?
Well, the funny thing is, I've made similar contract decisions and I've been made those assurances in the past. I'm just confident that I've made this decision for myself, first and foremost, like I said. And like I say, the further on in your career and the more I look back, I think some of my decisions have, yes, been from an employment point of view, let's make no bones about that, but also from a life decision, in the fact of, you know, I've been able to achieve a little bit with Wales and the Lions. You know, had I gone abroad or whatever, or moved away, I don't know whether I would have done that. So, you know, I can't be too greedy, like I say.
Just on the Wales front, obviously you'd have liked to have won the Six Nations, but you could say it was a success in terms of the number of young players like Josh Adams, for example, who were blooded. Do you think that you're in a good place looking ahead to the World Cup, which isn't that far away?
Well, like I say, it was pleasing the way we finished. It wasn't a complete package, and to get that strength in depth and to see people have that opportunity is good. You know, it's interesting to see who's going to go and get the opportunity in the summer. You know, you play international rugby, you don't really want to leave anything in the tank, and I don't think we did from a physical point of view. But like I said, about opportunities that were created and potentially didn't take, there's still some of those out in the park that we feel we could capitalise on and would make the difference in a couple of results.
One more, just a word on Players leaving, last chance of Liberty.
Yeah, I think it's tough. It's always a tough time of year, relevant of rugby and what you're scrapping for at the end of it. But there's a few guys going, some probably of more note. I don't really want to say names because we know who's going, and some people will know some that are going and other names that aren't. So I don't really want to pinpoint any people. We know what some have achieved and what some haven't achieved, but everyone's contribution to the Ospreys, no matter how small, will be hugely appreciated. And particularly this year, you see people standing up when times get tough, and I think we got credit to a lot of guys that are doing that who are moving on. So yeah, we're hugely thankful to their contribution, and there'll always be a no.